Hey everyone, my name is Ivan Perlo. I'm with the Cereal Valley team, and I'm one of your hosts for today. And I am excited to welcome our fifth workshop speaker today to the stage, Justin Hackney from Wonder Studios, who will be going over how to create a 3-minute story for this hackathon. I know it's the second day. I'm super excited to see what everyone builds, but I think this workshop will be a lot of help into figuring out how to actually put the story together. Justin, great to meet you.
Good to be here. Excited to see what everyone creates. I will hopefully skip part. Oh, this is a bit choppy, the video for me. Maybe it's just my stream. But yeah, really excited to get into this. I come from a long line of commercial and TV and kind of entertainment background, really trying to condense big, ambitious ideas into a 30-second, a 60-second, or a very short piece of content, just like this 3 minutes. So hopefully I can pass on some wisdom, some tricks I've learned along the way. But first, I just wanted to quickly get into some context of who I am. So if you could go to the next slide, please. Um, oh, sorry, I think I'm viewing the wrong one. Here you go. So yeah, traditional background in advertising, film. 4.5 years ago, I started working alongside OpenAI, really exploring like how these tools were going to affect commercial and film production. I set up a kind of network, like you should. Ended up working as a creative director for 11 Labs as well, just building out the brand. Again, trying to capture the world's attention with short videos where we're really trying to sell a product and hit people across like loads of different verticals. And then I recently got some VC backing to build my biggest dream of all, Wonder. And at Wonder, we create loads of commercial music videos, documentaries, long form content for Hollywood. It's a mixed bag, and we're still figuring it all out. But if you go to the next slide, hopefully we can break down some of the projects. Next slide, please. Like it's delirium. Like it's delirium. Yeah. Like it's delirium. She just wanna bounce. This is a trailer of some of the work over the last year. Like I'm giving young, but I never came here to sing what I'm really young, giving dividends. I'm trying to push up a ribbon on. You got a binge, you ain't got one with the ceiling gone. If you wanna get it gone, give me the experience. Make me a believer like a feature at the cinema.
These we cannot oversimplify.
These people times, people asking me what we've been on. I know that it's born, they just wishing they could watch it glow, watch it go through the fire like a sugar song. Or was it yeah? Either way, she gon' play the PlayStation. I play the Xbox, Xbox, good gracious. I'm so grateful that they say thank you, thank you, thank you, yeah. I swear she drives me crazy, think my brain is strong. Man, I just can't shake it like delirium. When I get this faded, your body, I just can't shake it. And I just want you to grind upon me all night long. Like it's delirium. I got delirium. Like it's delirium. Like it's delirium. Like it's delirium. I got delirium. Like it's delirium. Awesome. Next slide, please. And again, actually, for the sake of time, I think let's push through. Some of the projects we've been doing over last year, huge activations, documentaries, music videos, commercials. I'll show you one of them now, which will be the next slide. It was for 11 Labs. The brief was
what if anything you wanted to read could truly...
Well, hopefully you'll get it, and I'll break it down after.
What if anything you wanted to read could truly come to life? Bestsellers, hidden gems, your next obsession. Thousands of stories, and many in voices you choose. Anywhere you go.
Whatever happens, I won't let them take you.
Huh?
Whatever happens, I won't let them take you.
Suddenly, a blast shattered the ship's wooden bones. The pirates had returned. And this time, they had come for Bella. Hurling himself into the chaos, Captain Drake cut through smoke and salt-stung air until his sword struck one fatal mistake as the icy waters rose to claim her once again.
Focus, she told herself. The engines roared alive beneath her, and the race was on.
They are neck and neck entering the final straight.
Tearing around the final bend. Even the slightest hesitation could prove fatal. Un pulso eléctrico recorrió el chasis. La brecha se estaba cerrando. Confie nos seus instintos. A voz dele ecoou em sua mente. Gripping the lever, she launched down the final straight. And then, she did it. The crowd erupted. And at last, so did she.
This is how listening should feel with 11 Reader. Try it free.
Sorry, I got carried away.
So actually, that was my bad. That version doesn't have all the graphics on screen that really help you kind of break down the product and show some of the visuals of the app itself, like flicking through. But the idea is quite simple. You know, they wanted to show you could use different voices on the platform. So that was like the switching of the guy's voice at the beginning. You wanted to show different languages. That's like during the race. And I guess visually we got to explore like a lot of different worlds there. So really, really fun to do that, but tie it through with good character consistency and good sound. I'm going to skip forward a few slides and actually perhaps get more into a workshop on the 3-minute sessions. Maybe I just yeah.
What does it say, Doctor?
Watch this. I'm just going to get something up on the screen.
We come to test you.
Clear the area! We are about to engage the hostiles!
We come to judge you.
There's some things you can't run from.
They are gods. Vengeful gods. And they want blood. Твои стовения начинаются сейчас.
Awesome. I might share my screen now, Ivan, just to go into a bit of a workshop.
Sure.
Let me see if this works. Yeah. Tell me, are we all good there? Can you
Yep.
see? Yep,
That's all good.
fantastic. So, and I'll make this link public so that everyone can kind of tap into it afterwards. But let's kind of break it down. There's some technical stuff in this as well, which I didn't realize was as covered, but I'm going to kind of go through it as quickly as I can so I can cover everything, because I think consistency is important, and some of the technical ways in which you're creating your images, your references, and like prompting your video models is kind of part of how you tell a story, like the style and the energy. But I just want to go into like some kind of basic fundamentals of storytelling. Does the film have like a hero's journey? If it does, typically you have like the normal life, then something happens. It's like a call to action, and this can work in a commercial or short film. This thing is what incites that person to break their routine or to go on a journey or some, you know, like to go, start embarking on whatever this film is, like the journey of the film's taking them on. But they have to have pushback. Typically you can't just have wins, fantastic, this happens, this happens. You often need something that blocks the person, a conflict, something that stops them you know, from progressing, some choice that has to be made. And if it's a 3-minute thing, it's, you know, you have to show that they're committed to the cause. So this is like the threshold moment. Then you need like the ordeal. This is the choice they make, and this is the hardest beat to land, because this is really like pushing into performance or the aha moment of the film. And then at the end, obviously, you want to pay off. If this is like a commercial, it depends how much you're like leaning into selling a brand or making an interesting film, which is like brand led, or sorry, kind of like a Land Rover commercial, which is really about like a man going on a journey. Um, and at the end, it's like Land Rover and it's just subtle. It's more about the film or the story than it is the car with loads of beautiful car like shots. Hopefully that makes sense there, but I think that general arc of kind of like kicking off, something changes, having a bit of like pushback, making that choice, and then like that payoff at the end, that is the typical structure. So try and like bake that into your, if you're doing back and forth with ChatGPT or any language model, try and like ask it, prompt it, like let's follow a hero's journey structure. Um, a lot of people also make the mistake at the beginning when they're making these things of like doing and then this happens and then this happens and then they go to the shop and they buy a thing and whatever it is. That doesn't like people switch off because people like friction and conflict and things that get in the way. So instead of like a courier picks up a mystery package, then rides across the city, reaches the address, opens the package, and the film ends. You need to have things along the way that like bring these beats. So carrier picks up the package, no sender, delivery address doesn't exist. So she calls a number, etc., etc. These, it's therefore, but, and that's like that structure as well helps you progress things forward, and it ties in nicely with the hero's journey. It helps you like something happens, but then, and like in the 11 Labs video, for example, everything's great. It's this romantic moment with this guy on the boat, but then he sounds like an idiot. So therefore, she uses the app to change his voice, and he sounds great. But then there's an explosion on the boat, and she falls into the water. Then she, therefore, she like goes into a whole nother universe, and it's like these. Obviously, that one was quite complex, like moving around different worlds, but it has a great resolve at the end because you realize she's just in her own little world, reading all these books, listening to all these things, and she's so elated she screams and is embarrassed in like the coffee shop. So again, like I'm racing through here, but and hopefully I can leave some time for some questions. But write the script or the idea, whether it's a commercial, etc. Write it out, then get like GPT to storyboard it. Um, Different image models now are like really good, even like Nano Banana 2, etc. Banana Pro is like really good if you give it a few images of your product, your characters, whatever it is, plus your script, and say like break this down into like 4 images, each with 3 by 3, like a grid of 3 by 3 storyboards. Then you can like really quickly like have your script and visualize your storyboards like hand drawn. And what's really good about that, not only like can you kind of see it, but you can actually use those storyboards in some of the latest video models, especially Seed Dance, as a reference with again with your images of your characters, etc. But it will follow that storyboard and the shots in it. So like yeah, the video models can do like multiple shots within a scene. And if you really want to lock things in, storyboarding it is a really great way of doing that. Um, Lock in your reference as well. Like what I mean by that is, for example, here, this is actually using Faust models in the back end. I'm locking in my references. So these are like people that have generated a man, middle-aged kind of character and his dad. I've generated these images. I've made sure to keep the prompting quite like soft, low light, natural, slightly moody, sunset. So it's not just like bleached stock looking images, which is like if you just type in the person what they look like, you'll get it. You always got to add a little bit of cinematic language. And if you want to go really fast, I really suggest the Grok model as well. It is a hackathon after all, so you have to generate real quickly. But I've got my image references here for my hero. I've got the reference images for his dad. I've I've gone to town like exploring different car designs. I've picked the one I want. I can then like generate both those people as references and the car. I think even like you can have like 20 references, or even with the C Dance 2.5 model, like 50 image references, all including storyboards if you added storyboards into this as well, and some descriptions of what you're seeing in the shot, just like has been broken down over here in this system, which is just running a GPT language model. You can copy that across with your storyboards into an image model, and it will actually like, sorry, into a video model, and it will actually start generating out all those storyboards and be using these references as like a really high res clean pass. Because obviously, if you just use the storyboards themselves, it can get really, it will just follow the kind of 2D animated illustrated style. So you're breaking down the shots, and I really recommend, like with the footage, make sure to prompt it so you always have your like handheld or your kind of cinematic language of how the camera work is going. And that, you know, I know you've been through some technical stuff, so there's a lot more in here if you want to like break that down. I know we're coming close to an end here, and I do think you know, if it helps, if your thing is going to be narrated, I would always start with that as well. Start with your VO in an edit piece of music. Could use 11 Labs really quickly to generate some audio. Once you kind of block it out with your storyboards, maybe, or some loose images, a bit of your narration, and a, like an audio track, which when you come to edit is very important, because you'll be finding the beats within the, you want kind of cut to the beat a little bit, especially if it's a commercial. So I would start there, start pulling all your references in, etc., and go through a checklist like this. Have you got a clear obstacle? Have you got some interesting beats that connect the shots? But therefore, are you locking in your character, your style references? Are you naming them? Are you being like careful with your process? Make sure that you're asking the language model or whatever's helping you break down like the shots that you need for your scene. Make sure it's always injecting cinematic terms, handheld, anamorphic lenses, soft bokeh, whatever it is. Um, do not also, there's a tendency of people making like AI films to just go shot. Let some shots breathe. The models can do like 15 seconds. The new C dance can do 30. Let some shots breathe, and then have moments where it fast cuts, where it adds meaning, or it adds energy to the shot, to the edit. Also, like important, it's you know, as important is the audio, probably more important than, I would say, the visuals in many respects. For example, like you can, I see thousands of AI films, and people send me their reels all the time. What really makes things stand apart is like good audio. You could have like really good audio and so visuals, and people will really like it. It's like subconsciously they'll like, it feels professional. If you can have the best visuals in the world and bad sound, and it doesn't work the other way, it just feels amateur. So like lean into that as much as possible and go and make some magic. I'm really excited to see what you guys make. Sorry I had to like rush through so much, but maybe we get into some Q&A.
Yeah, Justin, we do have some questions coming
Yes,
in.
I can see them coming through here.
Perfect.
People coming. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, to get started, Daniel Green is asking, for people who are coming from technology backgrounds, what advice do you have for learning the theory and technique of storytelling and cinema film?
I mean, I honestly say just kind of watching a lot, to be honest. Like a lot of this stuff, like with any medium, comes with practice. And the beautiful thing is, you don't need to ask for permission or have loads of production budget to just keep on exploring with editing. But I would say good advice for people like really trying to lean in is follow the best AI filmmakers in this space, specifically because um you can learn it from any like industry master like filmmakers of the previous generation. But right now, if you want to learn it with these tools, I would look at Kevin the Kid's work. He puts out loads of tutorials. We put out loads of tutorials on Wonders channels as well. Rourke is really great from Gen HQ for like giving top tips, not just the tools, but like storytelling, commercial. There's a lot of places you can learn, but I think like really the fundamentals come from two things, which is if we're excusing like cinematography, it's like the hero's journey, and it's like those moments of conflict and having but their Thor. I think that's like such a core structure, and everything else that you do visually can be learned and picked up. A lot of it is just chucking prompts in to help, and this is how I learned even more even with the tools, because you can go faster, but you change, you have one image and you prompt out like a bunch of different alterations of how the camera is shaking, or whether it's a very clean fast motion or a drone shot, or you're swapping out lenses. And I think once you see it and you feel it, it kind of like locks in. Perhaps the next question: how do I feel about Sea Dance 2? I think Sea Dance 2 at the moment is the most cutting edge model. Like, it is by far the best at performance, high quality, kind of visuals. It has less like AI artifacts. And I would say it really, because it can handle edits within the generation, it's like a new frontier of AI filmmaking. Typically, before you put in your image reference or you do text to video, and you get that kind of one shot. Maybe you get like two cuts out of it, but like typically you're just doing it shot by shot. Whilst now you can say to Sea Dance 2, like, here's my characters, make me a 13-second sequence which has like 10 different shots in it. Um, Following the action guide from behind, then his feet walking, then a drone top down shot, then through a window as he's walking past, then he opens a door, goes in, and everyone turns around to look at him. You can like prompt that all in very specifically with time code. And so Sea Dance 2 at the moment is like one of the best for understanding the context of what you want, and then delivering not just beautiful visuals performance, but like cuts within the generation. Feel easy or hard to do long form AI video current tools? It is hard in a way, but once you get into the groove, making AI longer form films, of which we've made like 12 now. We have Beyond the Loop. Each episode this season is about 30 minutes long. Just has them shown at Tribeca. Some of them, like, honestly, setting the bar for what you can do with storytelling and these tools. I think it's the same fundamental as any other project. Like, obviously, you need like an incredible story. You start with that, like an incredible script. Cannot express that enough. You need a really strong story and a script. But a lot of it is just like visual references for style, cinematic language, like natural, interesting looking characters with uh, good prompting for how they perform. And often it's that like nuance of like performance, the subtle things that actually are more powerful when you watch them from the generations. Then if you just say, oh, the person's crying and this, that, and the other happens, you'll get quite a generic performance. So, and sometimes not everyone has time for this, and you've got hackathons. So often I ask whichever language model I'm like helping to build out the story, maybe make some help me break down my shots, etc. I'll often like tell it the sort of cinematic language I kind of want, and I'll ask it to always like add kind of nuances of performance that I will go through and like adapt as I go. Where does AI fit into the pre-production process by best? At the moment, dude, so many things. Like we're helping Hollywood greenlight films because we're making AI film trailers for ideas that they have that they want to get off the ground, and they would always do like video animatics and all this kind of like a deck to help sell in a story and get people to finance it. But now you can kind of show it, and if you apply this like commercial or documentary series or whatever, like you can quite easily now like present. And so I think the biggest unlock for pre-production is you can kind of do an incredible deck or proof of concept, or like a teaser trailer or whatever that really like gets projects lifted off the ground. And a lot of that groundwork, then when you come to like post-production or like you're doing a hybrid shoot and you end up like needing to go back into AI, like you've done a lot of the groundwork there, so it just can easily be applied. So I'm seeing it like evolve the whole pre-production to post-production process. At the moment, how well suited are some of the current AI tools at character design, shot lists, and storyboards? To be honest, they're incredible. I would say like easiest go to ChatGPT, like because it can use GPT-2 and you can just talk to it and have a thread and it generates stuff. But like you can do it with Grok, you can do it with Nano Banana, you can do it with GPT-2. All these image models are really great with like context. So if you can put your idea out there, it will most likely be able to create your character designs, help you build those story shot lists, and then once you've got those elements, it can help you build out the storyboards too. How can we tell a clear and emotionally impactful story in 3 minutes or less? I mean, just what should we focus on when building the character conflict and emotional payoff with such a limited time? It's a very limited time, but it's also quite a long time. Like you have to do these things often in like commercials, 30, 60 seconds. I think less is more in many ways. You just got to make sure that those beats and that arc is very clear, that you have you're setting up your characters so people care, and that doesn't need to be forced. That can be by like showing them doing different things, like depending on the character you want to set up. Like you show them helping someone out a little bit, like a bit bored at home, whatever it is. Like those kind of things like help develop a character. And I think the second you can grip, like your main goal is to like make people care about that character on the screen, or be worried that something's going to happen to them, or they're fearful of the journey that they're going on, like interested in where they're going to go and their motivations, if there'll be payoff. So like you got to really just make people care about that character enough so when your conflict happens, you get that kind of emotional payoff when they push through and something happens. Not everything has to have that kind of journey, but hopefully that helps. How do you personally workshop a story idea from scratch with AI? Pretty much that. I like just spitball to like Claude or GPT or whatever. The whole idea, all the pieces, the brands, their customers, whatever it is. Like give it as much context as possible. Give it the guardrails as well. Like it's 3 minutes. I don't want it to be over the top. I want it to feel grounded. But I want it to be stylized in X, Y, Z ways. Whatever it is, like context is absolutely everything. Thank you very much. Hopefully that helps to try to get through as much as possible.
Justin, thank you so much for your time.
All
Really
good.
appreciate it. That
All
was
good.
a fantastic workshop. Folks, we have about a day, a little less than a day left. I'm very excited to see what you create. As a reminder, submissions are due at 9 a.m. PT tomorrow. With that said, this workshop is recorded and will be posted in just a few moments after we end the stream here in the Discord. And as a reminder, if there's any other questions, please post them in the Discord as well. Thank you so much. Good luck hacking.